back to the TV show.
Old time religion, got that old time religion, got that old time religion.
Space Jesus is real. Got that
Old time religion, got that old time religion, got that old time religion.
Space Jesus is real. Hey guys, welcome back to the TV show where we talk about Doctor Who Season 8, Episode 6, The Caretaker?
Caretaker.
Yes,
The Caretaker.
I'm Matt Lieberman.
I'm Steve Zaragoza.
I'm Sam Bastion. I love this episode so much, and I don't think you guys did.
What a romp. No, I enjoyed it.
What a romp.
Yeah.
What a ruckus.
I enjoyed it, but I heard some weird blasphemous thing around the office that it was better than
Listen.
I'll
Yeah.
stand by that.
You'll
You
stand by that?
I'll
You thought
stand
this
by
episode
that.
was
Oh,
better
yeah.
than Listen?
Yes, I definitely.
Can you
liked
get
it
into
more
the
than
reasons
Listen.
as per why?
I love the Danny-Doctor dynamic. That was great, and it created a new dynamic between Clara and the Doctor, making him more like a dad to her.
Which we've been seeing a
We
little
have
bit.
been seeing more, and it's been like, but also she's been taking care of him, so that's a cooler dynamic. But now we're exploring him to her,
Right.
And there was a lot of great dialogue. There was a lot of great dialogue back and forth between Clara and Danny and the Doctor, and Doctor and everybody else. Yeah.
I just think she's pretty.
Oh, she's definitely
very,
pretty.
very
It's
pretty.
hard
That's
to
not
watch
in
that show with
dispute.
her being distracting.
That's
I'm
not
distracted
a
by how
progressive
pretty she is.
view.
I know, but I'm very distracted by how beautiful she
Okay.
is.
I agree with your points. I agree with your points, Sam, but at the same time, and like maybe Steve, maybe you feel this way too.
Let's hear
like,
it.
It was a great character development episode, and I think it was necessary to like push the story into the next stage where, you know, Danny's on board with Clara adventuring, he's supporting her.
Yeah, we've got our new Rory, basically.
Yeah, except he's not necessarily
Slash Mickey.
It doesn't
Yeah. Oh, he's way better.
It doesn't
Well, he's
seem
better
like
than
he's
Mickey.
necessarily going to be jumping in the TARDIS with them, at least not at first. But he's like, he's supporting her in her decision to go adventuring. But to me, it felt like this was a farce of a Doctor Who episode. Like the trappings of there being an alien threat was just there so that fans would
Subplot, yeah.
right, so
Yeah.
that fans wouldn't be like, hey, wait a second. This seems like an episode of a character drama. Why is what?
Yeah.
What is
It
going
was
on? They're just
almost like-
talking.
It was
Yeah.
almost like the whole reason the Doctor was there at all was to spy on Clara, like.
And to, yeah.
And the robot.
But like, if it wasn't for the robot thing, I feel like it would have been cool if we got just the Doctor spying on her, like rather than it being like, oh, and also the world could be destroyed again.
in this episode, Clara is struggling with the balance of her home life and her Doctor life, and she trying to go on an adventure with the Doctor, and he's like, oh no, I'm going undercover. And it turns out he's going undercover at Clara's school, invading her space.
But you can't gloss over the great montage in the beginning.
Which was so
That
very
was very
artfully
Loved it.
done.
Loved it.
efficient.
I just loved those angles
Why are
and
you
just
so tan?
the cutaways. Yeah, and then is that seaweed in your hair? Yeah, loved it.
I
Loved all
told you
that
it was a
stuff.
freak shower.
Yeah,
like-
I want to see more of that stuff. I wanna
Fish
see
people.
more.
What are fish
Fish
people?
people? Yeah.
People who are fish.
Yeah. So the Doctor goes undercover horribly at her school and comes face to face with Danny Pink as he is tracking down a very dangerous exterminator robot type thing, and would play some time travel. It was a lot of fun. And again, great dialogue. And I'm happy that we got into this relationship because we haven't really, not since the first episode of the season, have we really revisited like, why does Clara go on these adventures? We've never had that like outright
I don't know if
answered
we
by
need
her.
a reason though.
Well,
I
why
like that
wouldn't
it
you
would be
go on an
explained.
adventure? Why wouldn't you
But
go
what's
with
her
him?
reason to keep going after
'Cause it's
constantly
fucking
having her
awesome.
life
Like,
in danger?
All I could think of in my head was, because it's fun as fuck, but she said, because it's amazing. And I was like, that's essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
It's fun.
She doesn't have to say
But
a
it's
lot,
not
but now
fun
it
when
is
you're starving to
established.
death on some kind of great
Yeah,
desert
but she-
moon
Yeah.
place.
But she trusts the Doctor,
Yeah.
like she said, and she's never really been... I mean, let's be honest. As viewers of the show, we don't need to worry about the main characters. Like, we don't need to worry
They'll
about...
be around.
They'll be
Yeah.
around. There's no real danger. Like,
is
unfortunately,
Doctor Who,
it's
yeah.
Doctor Who.
So.
And when you have something like the TARDIS, it leaves very... Like, there's no fear that something, like, super dire will happen. Because all they need to do is get in the TARDIS and change shit instantly. They just write in, and then the TARDIS changes shit, period. And then it fixes everything.
It's oversimplifying.
The sense of danger is not as grand
Right.
in a series like Doctor Who.
And I think that this episode
Because of the TARDIS.
This episode's emblematic of that, where They were never in danger the entire time. The monster was just there to give them something to do while they explored their relationship.
Although Danny watched Clara run through this, like, basically being chased by a deadly murdering
the
robot.
most deadly robot in the universe.
Apparently.
Right,
Kind of,
apparently, even though it was
kind of
cheesy
lame.
looking.
Yeah.
But Danny witnessed that.
Yeah.
And from his perspective, it looked like she was in intense danger and she could definitely die in any moment. And that's why later on he was like, look, I see a version of you that is strong and can handle yourself, but you need to tell me if he pushes you too far.
Right.
So it's him really caring about her
I
getting
love-
into too much danger.
I love this because I feel like it's different. It's different from like the Rory or the Mickey, where like they want to get involved, they want to protect. He took a step back. He's like, I'm gonna be here every step of the way, but I'm gonna let her do it for herself because she is strong enough and she is awesome. I love that, and I feel like anybody who thinks that Stephen Moffat is a sexist, this season has been very much about
this episode alone.
like very, very progressive, very pro-woman. Like Clara is up there, man. I love her, and I love how strong she is. I love how pragmatic she is.
Right.
I love how she takes the doctor down a peg. I love the exploration this episode of their relationship and how it comes off to people that it is kind of father-daughter, but at the same time, she's still his teacher. I love when she talked down to him as a teacher.
I have to say that I was personally slightly disappointed at how civil and patient the doctor was with a kid. Like I really wanted him to be just like, man, get the hell out of here. You're like you showed me, who was showing me those clips of him in that?
Oh, in the thick of it?
In the thick of it,
yeah.
And just the way that he treats people in that show is so hilarious to me. I wanted that like
With a
Capaldi
child?
injected. Well, but like not like an asshole, but like how Robert Downey Jr. acted with the little kid in Iron Man 3. Was that?
Oh
3?
yeah, when he said, "Don't be a pussy."
Yeah, and he's just basically like treating him like an adult. Like I
Right.
want to see the doctor treat that kid like
But
an adult.
I feel like because it's a kid's show, maybe the doctor always will have more affinity for kids and will respect them more than adults.
I just
because
feel
kids
like-
have yet to do anything wrong.
Personally, I just feel like they missed an opportunity to have Capaldi be the first like annoyed
Doctor
with
with a
everyone
child.
doctor. Yeah.
That would have been cool.
It's a personal thing.
I thought this was what I was thinking about when I was watching it. I kind of don't want Danny to be part of the TARDIS team. I don't want him to be the Rory. I don't want him to be the Mickey that goes around with him. I want him to be the person that Clara can always come back to, and it's her tether to the real world, to like her like normal timeline, to like live her life and like grow old together. And I don't want him to be there because I want the doctor and him to always have something like really kind of just a lot of like intense emotions going back and
I
forth.
just have a bad feeling. Sorry, go ahead.
No, what I love that idea because it very much is the the father-husband dynamic of like, listen, you better be good enough for her that I let you be with her, and he's like, well, fine, you better treat her with enough respect that I don't separate you two. Like she cares about you, she respects you, she trusts you. If you let her down, then I won't stand for it. But by the same time, I'll play by your rules as long as you deserve to be the one making it.
I just have a bad feeling that we're gonna get at some point down the road that whole cliche "it's either him or me" thing, and I hate that.
Everybody hates that. But
I can't if
they've been so progressive though.
They have been very progressive, but then they've done the thing, but then they don't surprise it. Like I would love for us to get through this season without an ultimatum between Danny and the doctor for Clara. I want there to just be like, she's an independent woman. She's going to do what she wants to do. If she wants to travel the cosmos and put herself in danger, let her do that. But also, be protective of her but don't try to keep her from that. I'm nervous they're going to go there. Yeah. It's very easy to go there.
Very easy to go there. Yeah. I think I'm hoping for the best.
Also, we saw a man die.
We also saw a man die. We saw an arm fall into place.
His arm.
So we got a tweet about that because he winds up going to heaven or the promised land or wherever that is. At Knowledge Zebra writes, the ending with Chris Addison was a nice touch. The series finale with Missy will be awesome.
Or really confusing.
Or really confusing.
It makes no sense, but we accept it because it's Doctor Who.
Jeremy Alvarez says, TV show, I feel like it was well executed, especially when the doctor thought Clara's boyfriend looked like Matt Smith.
That was so
great.
I loved that.
Loved it.
I love anytime the doctor like puts himself out on a limb and then is just thoroughly embarrassed.
Yeah, I love when she's like, oh, he's totally not my type. And he's like shocked. He's like, what?
Yeah, what the hell? I thought we had a thing
we had a thing, yeah.
They do a lot of throwbacks with the new series to other doctors. Like in other series, they have talked about the other doctors, but not to this degree.
Right, and they mentioned River.
No, they mentioned River. He's like, I was with otters for a week.
River and I were having a fight, and Doctor. I love that.
Love it.
But back to the cop going to heaven, we also have another tweet, at Are You My Mummy? Clever.
Mummy!
Yeah. Why did a minor character like the cop go to heaven? It seems like there's gonna be a lot of loose ends when this series ends. I don't know how we're gonna tie that up, because this is the first time a human has gone. It's been
that kind of human soldier girl went.
Right, but we don't know what planet she's from necessarily.
I just feel like, personally, I don't think we're gonna get into religious territory.
You think it's no old time religion?
I think there's gonna be no old time religion. There's gonna be no God. I think it's gonna be some kind of alien thing.
Yeah.
And it's gonna stay in the safe zone. Because if Doctor Who really got into religious territory, like there's a heaven and
they went with the devil.
They did go with the devil, that's true. But that also was a planet thing,
too. That was a very weird episode.
Super weird episode. Like
with
the
lava
spirit of the devil went into the dude. And
and he's got all
devil
like
monster
symbols on.
Yeah, there really was like a big devil.
With the black hole and everything.
And wasn't the devil defeated super easily? I remember.
They just kind of threw him out into.
But this was the most we had seen yet of the Promised Land.
Yeah.
We saw this like expansive white office type thing. The police officer looked out the window and he saw something that blew him away. We don't know quite what it is. And we saw all these doors. Missy walks out of one of these doors, and the guy who's working there is like, "Oh yeah, she's really busy today."
Well, because he says, "My God, oh my God," and then he says, "She's really busy today."
Oh, like, you think
to insinuate that maybe that was God or something?
Oh,
that's what I got.
I didn't necessarily make that connection, but I think that's a smart point. Very, very valuable. But where do all those doors go? Do they go to that tea room and that?
Maybe.
I'm wondering if it's like, if he calls it the Nether Sphere. What if it's like this like sub universe that exists like outside of reality, where you can just enter and exit doors to all the different planets and time periods
universes and stuff.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Like, what if
multiverses.
It's some version of the time stream or something?
That's kind of
complicated,
cool.
but that'd
it's
be cool.
complicated, but why not? Fucking throw it in.
You gotta put everything in there.
You got everything
into the Dr. Stew. Dr. Stew.
Dr. Stew.
At Mia Gohill writes, I like the introduction of Danny to the Doctor. Not a great episode, but not the worst. Now, obviously, a lot of people feel very, very differently about that. You know,
better than Time Heist.
Definitely better than Time Heist. I'll say that. Yeah. Just because of like the sheer number of like quiet moments where we got to really get into the reasoning, why these people do what they do. Danny and Clara's relationship was treated in a really mature fashion. I would say the most mature
of the series,
of any of the relationships so far. Because like basically, Amy ran roughshod all over Rory, and then he just lapped it up, and then he still was like, "No, I'm gonna wait 2,000 years to save you because I love you that much."
And Rose was just like kids, basically.
Yeah, she's like, you know what? I don't really like you, but I'm not going to break up with you either. I'm just going to wait until you realize I don't like you.
Yay.
Yeah. And these are adults who care about each other. Wait, but like, how long have Danny and Clara been dating that she's like in love with him?
I know, she says she's in love with him.
That's hard. You can't keep track of that in Doctor Who ever, because it's like he went through like a bunch of adventures.
Yeah.
But I still feel like he's got to be a little surprised.
A little
surprised to be hearing that.
Hey, if I heard her say that she loved me, I'd be like, I don't care if I've known you for an hour. I'll take it.
Yep. Ring. Lock that down.
Do you think it's influenced by the fact that she knows that she's gonna be with him?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, because she's
that was sweet.
Chris says, so they have 72 hours to beat the robot, but no one considers using the time machine. It was even addressed in the episode.
That's a good point.
But here's the thing, man. If you look, as I said before, the TARDIS is just like the ultimate get out of any situation key for any writer coming on to Doctor Who. And so essentially you could, if you said like, why don't they just use a time machine every time, then essentially there would be no episodes.
There would be no story.
There would be like the Doctor goes, let's go to this planet, and then they go and he goes like, oh no, I don't know what's going on, but I could
let's go back in time to before we came to this planet.
Forget about it. Or let's go into the future where we can stop the thing from happening.
We can find out how we did it.
And
then go
yeah,
back.
and the Doctor could be fucking sipping drinks on the beach in Tahiti.
This would be a super boring show.
And it would be boring.
Josh H from Twitter asks, is this Doctor so different because his regen cycle was given to him by Time Lords and not natural?
No, I would say if you watch
older version.
Yeah, if you watch some of the older Doctors, you know, you watch a William Hartnell or a John Pertwee, they were just as dismissive.
Or even look at in this series we've been watching. Look at John Hurt's War Doctor.
Exactly.
Like, you know, he's just they're
Not
just different.
giving a fuck.
They're
Just different, yeah.
Cranky. A lot of great stuff in here. Very excited about the rest of the season to come. If you want to tweet us your thoughts, please do so at #TVShowShow.
And by the way, the next episode looks like there's spiders.
There's moon
Yeah,
spiders.
which is
Space spiders.
Space spiders.
Spiders from the moon. You know, the most popular kind of spider nowadays in the future or whatever is the giant space spider.
How are they different?
They're different because they can breathe in space. They don't require oxygen to get around doing the spider stuff. I admire them for their tenacity and for their gamey flavor.
How do you catch them?
Well, first of all, you look under a moon rock, and them moon rocks better be big because they're gigantic space spiders.
Wait, so when you get the spiders, you eat them?
Oh yeah, I eat them. I eat them right up. Some people call it cannibalism. I just call it good eating.
Right? Don't you think you should maybe have science take care of those spiders instead of just eating them? Like, we should probably study those
Boy,
spiders.
who you been talking to? You've been talking to some scientist. I'll kill him. I'll kill them all.
No, I just think that
I'll kill them all.
it's a pretty amazing discovery that they're actually space spiders.
I smell flies on your breath, boy.
Oh, no, I don't eat flies.
You
I
sure?
don't. Absolutely.
I smell a maggot on you, boy.
I don't. Absolutely not. Thaddeus, I'm sorry, I don't.
Don't make me kick you off my spider plantation.
I'm sorry, that would be awful.
Yeah.
I enjoy that spider honey you let me put in my tea.
Spider honey is basically just concentrated spider pee and webbing mixed together.
Mixed together, yeah.
Disgusting.
That spider honey!
That spider honey sure be sweet today.
All right, well, yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys. I'm Steve.
I'm Al.
I'm Sam.
Bye-bye.
Got that old time religion. Got that old time religion. Got that old time religion. And space Jesus is real. Old time religion. Got that old time religion. Got that old time religion.
Oh, by the way, what was with that fucking like super fucking flip that Danny did over
that
the
8-foot
fucking
flip?
Yes, that's when is he a kick-ass
How is that
gymnast?
possible?
I don't
He's
know.
a soldier.